what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the build series. Now, if you didn't watch the first video, go ahead and stop this, go to the other one, and we're gonna, in the other video, talk about installing our gas tube. Now, if you've already done that and you are here, now we're gonna be talking about the compensator, muzzle brake, bird cage, flash hider, whatever you want to call it, we're gonna be installing that. So let's go over some of the materials that we're gonna need for today. First and foremost, you're gonna need your compensator. Now, I've got this guy here from Next Level Armament, and just a disclaimer, this gun that I'm building with you, is actually gonna be called my Frankenstein gun. There is no same two companies in this build, and that's from just other times of buying parts to tack packs that I've gotten. This one in particular is actually from a tack pack, and it's for short barreled rifles or any kind of shorter than 16-inch barrel rifles. That this is what that compensator is. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link down below. But it's a linear compensator from Next Level Armament. This is what I'm going to be putting on there. You also need a crush washer, but 10 times out of 10, anytime you buy a compensator, it's going to come with its crush washer. If for whatever reason you need a crush washer because you've lost it, you can buy those individually. So very first thing, crush washer. Next thing that you're going to need is a vice grip. Now, I have a mobile vice grip, as we all like to say, but this is just acting as my second set of hands. So this one is not meant to be cranking down on barrels or anything crazy like that. This is just so that it's kind of like my buddy, like, hey, let me hold that for you. That's what this vice grip is for. But you'll need something to hold this weapon together. And while it's being held, you're also going to need this guy right here. This allows the upper receiver to be held inside of the vice grip without actually crushing it, scratching it, or doing anything crazy with it. The armorer's wrench. Now, this is everything from castle nut to barrel nut to the compensator crush washer nut. You're going to need one of these to kind of crank down on that. Now, if you don't have one of these, that's okay. A crescent wrench will do the job. Then, of course, you're going to need your upper receiver itself. So let's just jump right into the build. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we are going to attach these two guys together. If you don't know how to do this, I'll explain it briefly, but I actually go into detail in this in the first video. Basically, this is up, this is down, this is up, this is down, okay? You're gonna open this guy up just like this, and then you're gonna put this guy in there just like this. You have an up and you have a down, boop. There you go. And then you just close it up, and then bam. And then you're gonna put your vice grip just like that, sitting right there. Now mine is too small, so I'm gonna be putting mine upside down just like this, but it does the same job. Let's put it in the vice grip. Okay, we've got this guy on our vice grip. Again, yours should be right side up, mine's gonna be upside down, but it's all gonna be the same anyways. Now we're gonna take our compensator crush washer, take it out of the package. Okay, so now that we have our crush washer here, let me get this guy here for you. Our crush washer and our compensator, we need to know which way we put this stuff on. Now, there's a big controversy. If you look at the crush washer, that's kind of like a dome. See how it sits up and you can flip it upside down, all that kind of stuff. It's a common question is which way should this crush washer go? Now, the way I was taught and the way that it should always go, in my opinion, is the dome head should be facing the bolt carrier group, and then the flat end should be facing the compensator. Now, the correct actual answer is, and I quote, "The contact diameter of the washer needs to be the same or smaller than the surface it mates against. In some cases, that's cone forward, and others it's cone towards the shooter. In others, it doesn't actually matter." So, with that being said, the flat surface mates perfectly against my compensator, so that means the cone, as they're calling it, is going to go towards the bolt carrier group or towards the shooter. That's how I'm going to be installing this. So all we're going to do is pretty simple. You're going to place this guy over the threads, just like that, and then you're just going to hand tighten this. Now there is an up and down of each compensator, and you want to be mindful of that because it'll make it look really cool. So you're gonna go until it's hand tight, and then you're gonna get your wrench, crescent wrench, armorer's wrench, whatever you wanna use. You're gonna get that, and then you're gonna do it about a quarter to a half turn. I believe it's 28 foot-pounds that it's supposed to be on, but honestly, until this thing crushes, it's kind of where I do it at. So since my vice grip doesn't want to be mounted or bolted, it's going to be a little difficult, a little tough, but we're going to make it happen. Okay, so I've got my compensator on. It's not exactly perfect, but it's going to be okay because all is going to be spray painted in the end anyways. Okay, so now we have our compensator, muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it. We have that guy installed. Now, what's going to be next is going to be rails. We're going to talk about rails. Now, there's 1,000 different rails out there, 1,000 different companies. Honestly, find what's in your budget. Read the reviews because there are people that take the time to give those reviews, and then just get after it. Mine's going to be a little bit different because I do have this fixed front sight post sitting right here. So mine's going to be a little bit different, but let's get to rails in the next video. Be sure to subscribe if you're liking this series.